Hi everyone, and welcome to what is probably going to be a very long-winded video to the point where I'm going to track the dates of this. But this is going to be the reading vlog for the Books of Pellinor. Is that the name of the series? I can't even think anymore, and I film on my phone and I looked at it on my phone just before that, so I've forgotten. But anyway, the book that I'm currently reading is The Gift by Alison Croggon. That is the first book in the series. I bought this book, according to what I just looked at a minute ago, 4 years ago. I don't know what made me buy it. I don't own the rest of the series, and it's a series that I don't feel like I see many people talk about. Fast forward to this year, I still hadn't picked this book up. No one's surprised if you are familiar with my channel. And so I ended up picking this book up for no other reason than on a previous video I'd asked people to recommend a book for me to read. And I'm slowly working through all those comments and recommendations even now, which today is the 17th of August 2020, in case this runs into future years. 17th of August 2020. And so, yeah, I was recommended to pick this one up by Abby over at Autumn of Pellinor, which her channel's named after this book series, so I shouldn't be surprised that this was her recommendation. She was like, if you can get a hold of a copy. I looked up and realised I own a blooming copy. So that was my first realisation that I bought this book 4 years ago and haven't read it. So yeah, I started reading it 2 months ago, and then I got to 4% and I stopped reading it, not because I didn't like it. I'd read like the first chapter or something and actually really enjoyed it, but because I'd got some other books on the go for NetGalley and I was getting ready in preparation to go back to work, and it was just all a bit too much for me, and I could feel myself going into a reading slump, and I was like, I don't want to ruin the experience of this book by letting the reading slump drag me down. So I didn't pick this book up at all until a week or two ago. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get back in the reading mood. I feel like I can read again now. So I started the book again from the beginning, reread that first chapter so that I hadn't forgotten anything, and was pleasantly surprised. Since then I've been picking it up here and there when I can, but I wasn't still fully back in the reading mood, so I didn't push it too much on myself. Today I am massively in the reading mood, and I've already read 10% more of this book. I'm currently at, I can't remember if that was 34% or 38%, and this morning I was on 24%, so I've gone up at least another 10%. I'm making excellent progress on this book and I'm having a fabulous time, and I wanted to document it because at this point I have realised that not only am I really enjoying this book, I want to continue on with the series. I don't yet own the rest of the series. I don't know whether I'm going to pick up some of the books on Audible maybe, as I've got 4 spare credits, but then I also want to use those on another book series that I'm currently working through right now. So I might just end up buying the Kindle copies of the rest of the series. I'll see what happens when I get to the end of this book. As I currently stand though, I'm hoping that this reading vlog is going to cover my reading experience of the whole series and not just the first book. But I'll know better as time goes on, I guess. So this series at the very beginning has pronunciation lists of how you can describe characters' names, world names, because this is a YA fantasy, and because of my awful attention span at the time, I sort of flicked over it and was like, nah, can't bother going to pronounce it how I like. So if you've read this series and you know I'm pronouncing stuff wrong, you're just going to have to bear with me, because at this point, this is the way my brain has got these names pronounced, and it's not going to change at this point. I'm happy with my own pronunciations if I am wrong, so yes. So this series follows a character named Mayrad, or however it's meant to be being said, and she is living somewhere as a slave, working away, kind of not really even thinking much about her existence, when someone called Cadvan comes to rescue her and tells her that like there's something special about her, that she's like got a gift. And he ends up taking her to this magical kind of city. I can't remember the names of any of these places because I'm terrible. Names is my weakness. So he takes her to this city, town, villagey thing castle, I don't know. In my head it's all three of these things combined, and sort of discovers more about her. On the journey there they run into a few issues as well, and by the time she gets to this castle he's like, yeah, there's definitely something special about you, and we're going to like help you become who you're meant to be. And she starts learning to read and write. She learns how to horse ride, although she's already quite kind of okay with horse riding anyway. She learns how to handle a sword. And then they move on because Cadvan is worried that actually Mayrad is in terrible danger. And meanwhile, he's got his own things he needs to be getting on with. But he has volunteered to be her kind of tutor. So she's going along with him. And that's pretty much where I'm up to at 34%. And as I said, I'm really starting to fall quite in love with these characters. Some of the characters that were at the place that Cadvan had taken her to were just adorable. There's a character called Sylvia who's lovely. The guy who was teaching her to read and write was quite a fun, quirky character too. And meanwhile, the guy that was teaching her to horse ride and sword fight, he was a bit more grumpy on the outside, but like really soft on the inside, and you could tell that he was just such a good guy. And he blessed her sword, and I'm loving the characters. I love Mayrad. I feel like she's going to be a really strong character to follow. Cadvan is really interesting, and yeah, I've not read an awful lot of fantasy in my life. I've read kind of less crazy fantasies. I've read like quite a few urban fantasies, but more epic fantasies aren't necessarily things that I've picked up. So I'm really happy that I'm enjoying this series thus far, and I'm so excited to be documenting this journey. But now I'm going to go back to reading it because I'm having a fabulous time and it's my day off and I just want to carry on chilling. I mean, I've still got my pyjama top on, to be honest. That's the day I'm having. So yeah, I'm going to go and curl up with my Kindle. It's raining, so it's perfect reading weather. Okay, it's been like literally 2 minutes since my last update, but as an update, it was 38% and we have a map. Now, the fact that it's on Kindle, I've learned that it's a bit of a faff having maps on Kindle. So what I'm going to do is take a photo of this so I have something to reference back so I don't have to keep looking for it as I read on. I also did that when I started the book. There were some maps at the beginning as well, so I got pictures of that. But I'm just really enjoying this. I can see now why sometimes people get really quite into fantasy holes and struggle to read anything else, because I just want to read all the fantasy right now. So 41% in, and we've had a death, or rather by death I mean murder. A little bit short. I am addicted to this book. I'm gonna try and read as much of it as I can tonight and tomorrow while I'm off work because I want to finish it. Okay, a few more pages in, and now I've learned that there's a way that these people, which are called bards, can kill themselves if they want to. And so now that this news has spread to Cadvan that this person has been murdered perhaps, he's now thinking that maybe they've actually managed to kill themselves to preserve the information rather than him actually being murdered. And so now that's what he's hoping for, that's what I'm hoping for, that's just the hope. So it's now about a week later. I totally forgot to update you, but I've been slowly plodding on. I didn't finish this book as quick as I thought I was going to, sadly, but I am enjoying it. I'm one of those people that really dislike long chapters, and most chapters in this book are like 45 minutes plus for me to read, and it just means that I make slower progress than what I probably otherwise would, because I'm there going, well, do I have 45 minutes to put to reading right now? Probably not, so therefore I just don't pick it up. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, I've read 74%. I've got about 3 hours and 15 minutes remaining, it thinks. So I'm gonna say this again. I'm hoping to finish this book, well, tonight actually, but I don't think that's realistic unless there's a lot of random appendix stuff at the back, which I doubt. Otherwise, I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow, and I think that is actually genuinely a doable thing this time, so fingers crossed for that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've been enjoying the journey. I've been enjoying getting to know the characters more. I really like Mayrad. She's proper, like, the scene I've just read, she's kick-ass. She's amazing. She didn't even know that she'd got this just, like, insane power within her. Cadvan is not as lovable as he was before. Like, there's nothing wrong with his character, it's just I'm finding I've not got to know him any more than what I did earlier in the book, and as a result I'm just not really all that bothered by him anymore. But I am bothered by their horses, Imi and, oh my goodness, I can't think of the other horse's name. I think it begins with a D, but I really like them. There's something about them that I feel really quite attached to these horses. I mean, I am an animal lover, so that probably has a lot to do with it. We've also met another character named Hem, and I'm about to read Hem's chapter so we find out who he really is. And I'm so intrigued. And I wish I could be reading that right now. But sadly, I have other things I need to crack on with. So that will be a bedtime thing later on. But yeah, I'm having a great time. Thought I'd update you. So, a quick evening update after I have got in from work. I have got about an hour left of the gift, so I am definitely expecting to finish it tonight. The date now is the 26th of August, by the way. I can't remember what date I started this, but I did note the dates that we could follow this in progress. Yeah, I've not been finishing this book as quickly as I thought, but I've been enjoying it all the same. I now know who Hem is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, oh, the stakes of everything, like, there's been near-death experiences from things. There's been so much risk, so much heartbreak, and I'm so in love with the horses. I know I mentioned this before as well, but the horses are just like, wow. Because now that Mayrad can actually talk to horses, I don't feel like that's a major spoiler, but now that Mayrad can talk to them, I'm just like, wow, we're getting so much horse character and horse personality, and I'm just all about the horses as an animal lover. But yeah, I will probably finish this book tonight and update you tomorrow. Hi everyone, so I finished the gift this morning, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can't really remember my thoughts anymore as I've had a really long, stressful day at work, but I remember just being all like, wow, what an ending, because it was an explosive ending. Now I'm thinking about it, it's coming back to me. I really enjoyed it, and it left in such a scary place, and I can't wait to see where the next book picks up. I don't own the next book still, so I'm not sure when I'll be filming another clip for this video. I might grab it on audiobook, on Audible at some point soon. Otherwise, not sure. Might hope that it drops in price at some point on Kindle. Audible's probably my best bet though, I think. I don't normally get on with Audible, no. I don't normally get on with fantasy that well via audiobook, but because I'm already familiar with the characters in the world, I think I'll be okay with this one. So yeah, we'll see what date I get a copy of the second book. So here I am with another update for you. It is September the 1st, and I have decided to pick up the audiobook version of The Raven. Have I made that title up? I think it's called The Raven by Alison Croggon, which is the second book in the Pellinor series. So yeah, I've listened to about 5%. And I'm really enjoying it. It's very much just setting the scene so far and reintroducing you to the world and what happened in the previous book, which is good because sometimes you don't get that in books, and if I'd left a gap, I would have needed this. So I'm not minding the recap at all. It's fine with me. It's not done in an overbearing way. It's in bits and bobs as things become relevant to the current plot. So yeah, I am really enjoying it, and I'll let you know how I get on. Oh, and as a quick note as well, because I'm listening to the audiobook this time, it is helping me learn how to pronounce some of the names. So Mayrad. I was saying Mayrad and the narrator saying Myrad, so not overly different. Cadvan is still Cadvan, and I've not really come across any others so far really, so yeah, I'm all good on the pronunciation side of things so far, but I'm sure that will change. Okay, so I've been in a bit of a funky kind of reading mood of recent weeks, and I've been a bit all over the place. As a result, I hadn't picked this book up at all since whenever it was I last updated you. It's now towards the end of September, and I've actually listened to quite a chunk of the audiobook today while playing Animal Crossing, which is something I can do once I am engrossed in an audiobook. I have to be fully into it first to be able to follow both Animal Crossing and the book. Otherwise one or the other suffers. But once I'm into the book and aware of the characters and everything, I actually find it really easy to multitask them both. If I've got a lot of text conversation going on in Animal Crossing, then I do pause the audiobook. But if I'm just going about my daily stuff like digging up fossils, rearranging my island, doing some fishing, then it's actually a really good way of me managing my time to relax playing Animal Crossing and yet also work on reading. So it works out really well, and I can do it for like 3-4 hour chunks at a time, which is what I have done today. I did about 4-hour chunk, and I've also done like a second like kind of 2-hour chunk, so I've made some amazing progress on the audiobook. And I will say I'd left it in a spot where my rad was starting to get really irritating. I was starting to be a bit like, ugh. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it's linked to some sort of kind of plot progression, because that's definitely hinted at, that there's some sort of darkness within her. But she's changed from the first book, and she's kind of moody and irritating and all like, oh, me. Just like, I was getting really annoyed with her. But then in today's like massive chunk that I've done, some terrible things have happened, some shocking things have happened, some heartbreaking things have happened. And for me, the thing that's irritating me the absolute most is that she's not with a horse anymore, Immy. I miss Immy so much, like as if I'm missing a horse character from a book. But I just love Immy so much, and I want her back in the book. And I'm hoping that she makes another appearance at some point in the series, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Meanwhile, some other terrible things happened, as I said, but the plot also got really moving along. So she ends up in this kind of town where she meets up with some people that actually end up being related to her in some sort of way. And it was so nice for her to be able to feel settled for a bit. I was like, yes, it's so nice to be settled. Why can't we just stay here forever? Bookends here, happily ever after. Yes, that'd be fine by me. But no, we've got to carry on with our quest, which is what we are doing now with some wolves. I'm really enjoying it, and it's nice to prove to myself that I can enjoy fantasy via audiobook, because it's definitely one of the genres that I struggle with the most via audiobook. But I think that reading the first book on my Kindle to get me orientated into the world and the characters has really helped with this. So I think that once I'm familiar, I can then audiobook fantasy as much as I want, because I'm there, I know what I'm doing, I know what's going on. So I'm probably going to listen to all of the rest of this series by audiobook. Probably. It depends on whether the other books end up on sale on Kindle at any point, but I'm definitely not going to be owning them deliberately via any other means. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this experience. I'm sure I'm probably going to regret this camera angle because I've just got out the shower. Also, it's probably really echoey, but I'm on a mission for not every shot to be in my bedroom. So yeah, to update, I listened to over 40% of the book today and finished it. I couldn't stop listening, honestly. So I was playing Animal Crossing again while listening, and I just had to keep going. It was just amazing. I have no words. It's still a 4-star read. It didn't quite hit the 5-star level for me, but I definitely liked it more than the first book. So there's that. But yeah, I just absolutely adored it. It sent me on such a roller coaster ride as well. Like 1 minute and they're like depressed over things that are happening. The next I'm like, oh my god, yes, like so happy over something. And it was just like that the entire way, like such a roller coaster. Wow. And also it looked a lot into the themes of good and bad, darkness and light, and how there's shades of grey. So it was obviously done a lot more than what I just stated there, but I just wanted to gush right now and just be like, yes, I finished it. I'm going to leave it a few weeks and then start the third book. So I'll let you know what date I start that one, as we are still date tracking. Today is the 29th of September, just to keep the update clear for that one. But yeah, 29th of September, book 2 down, done, loved. It's definitely been a while since I've filmed a clip for this vlog. So the date is the 2nd of January and I'm about to get a shower, so ignore the state of my hair. But it's the 2nd of January and I'm finally going to be starting The Crow, which is the third book in this Pellinor series. And I think I remember what was going on from the first two. It's been quite a few months because I was kind of in a bit of an audiobook slump with not really leaving the house much, and I spent a lot of time listening to The Outsider and also to If It Bleeds. So yeah, I'm really excited to be getting back to this series. Be nice to get it finished off sometime soon so that this doesn't drag on through a lot of this year too. But yeah, I'm going to go and get in the shower and listen to the audiobook while I shower, so update you when something of interest happens, I guess. So I'm out of the shower now, and as an update, I didn't need to worry about whether I remembered what was going on or not. The first bit of this is like kind of a note from the author, which fills you in on what had been happening in the previous couple of books. But it was done in a really fun way, where it made it kind of turn it into the real world as if this is something that she'd been studying. It was really clever, I really liked it. And that really helped me kind of get to grips with where we were. Since then, the actual book itself, it is from a different perspective as well anyway. So again, it links up, but at the same time it doesn't follow exactly from where we ended, so it doesn't matter how well I remember that right now. And I will also tell you that I can't tell you what the perspective is because I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm just gonna be super vague. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this trip back into the world. It's easing me in slowly. Even now that I'm into the narrative, it's very much just slow and steady telling me what's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get some breakfast and listen to a little more. So I've been cleaning like a cleaning machine today while also listening to the audiobook. I listened to over half of the book today, I think. Actually, no, probably more like a third. I'm at just under 60%. I can't remember where I was at before this, but not that far, I don't think. So I've listened to a really good big chunk today and I'm enjoying it. I don't even say I'm loving it, but it's missing that special something, and I think that special something is Myrad and Cadvan. As interesting as this perspective is, I want Myrad back and I want Cadvan back. I miss them both. They make the story for me, I think. And while this is really interesting, it's definitely building on the world and we're getting to know this character better and the people that this character is with. But at the same time, yeah, it's just missing that special something. I am enjoying it though, like I said. It's not like it's a bad book. It's probably just my least favourite in the series because the characters I like aren't present. Not that I dislike this character. But yeah, I'm having a great time. Just thought I would check in and let you know, because if I have another cleaning day like today tomorrow, I probably won't be that far off finishing the book. And if I then do some deep cleaning Friday too, I'll probably finish the book. So yeah, thought I'd better let you know, because otherwise it's gonna be like, I've started the book, I've finished the book, and there's gonna be like nothing in between at all. Please excuse how bloody terrible I look. So I couldn't sleep last night. I think I've had about 2 hours sleep, if I'm lucky. But yeah, I couldn't get my breath, but I just felt like I couldn't breathe. The air was just really stale. It shouldn't be. I have the windows open plenty. I think it's more just I don't get out the house right now. I've not really done anything to make myself tired. I've not burnt any energy doing anything. So yeah, that was a bit of a problem. So I couldn't sleep last night. So as a result, I decided to listen to the audiobook in bed, thinking I'll just listen to this in like 30-minute bursts. I'd got the sleep timer on thinking I would definitely fall asleep within a couple of bursts. It'll happen. It's so much easier to fall asleep when you want desperately to pay attention to something. So I did that, and I had to keep extending the timer and extending the timer. Yeah, I managed to finish the audiobook last night in bed. Wasn't the plan at all, but hey, it worked. Also, even though I'd not been enjoying this one as much as the others books in the series, something happened during the bit that I was listening to in bed last night, and I was like, wow, I'm starting to get a new appreciation for this book now. Like, wow, the journey the character goes on, what happens in that last third or so of the book, it was just like, wow, poor character. It was hard going, and I really enjoyed that experience. So bonkersly, that's led to me giving this book 4 stars. So I'm sure I've given every book in the series so far 4 stars. I've downloaded the 4th book. I can't remember what it's called. I like it's got something to do with singing. I can't think. I've not had any sleep. But yeah, I've downloaded that. But I'm not going to start listening to it yet. I might pick it up tonight in bed if I have similar issues, but I doubt it. I am so tired. But yeah, I will either start it at some point tonight or I'll start it at some point tomorrow. It's gonna happen soon. And I'll probably fly through this one as well. I can't believe how fast I'm starting to get through this series and get it done now. It's like, wow, I am not ready for leaving these characters behind. Hi everyone, I'm having a deep clean and tidy of the kitchen today. So while doing that, thought I'd get started on the next audiobook, which is The Singing. So I'll check in once I've done some listening. Oh my goodness, I've just finished, why can't I ever do book titles? The Singing. Oh my goodness, I've just finished The Singing. I don't know what I can say that isn't spoilery. Oh, I don't know. So I've spent a lot of today cleaning the house, which is why I've been binge audiobooking. And I also had someone round, not in a social way because of lockdown, but in a professional manner because I needed some work doing. So we've had a new window pane put in because when we moved in, there was a scratch in one of them. So we're really happy with our new window pane. It looks great. But I thought I'd put a bit of makeup on so it would scare the guy away. And I knew with all the cleaning that I was doing today that I'd probably end up filming this clip, and thought it'd be nice to have a bit of makeup on at least occasionally. Plus I've been dying to just put some on and just feel like a bit more of a girly girl. Just feel like a bit of a slob during lockdown, to be honest. So what can I say about the book? I mean, this is literal, like, just finished kind of reaction. I don't know what I can say that isn't spoilery with it being the last book. Oh, goodness. I really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the entire journey. I'd probably give it 4 stars, which I think I've given every single book in the series 4 stars. So it's a solid 4-star series. I'd say it's probably my joint favourite book with the first one, I think. There were times where I thought, is this gonna be even better than the first one for me? But no, I don't think it is. I do think I still prefer the first one. I just don't know what I can say about the story that isn't spoilery at this point. Something happens which makes me a bit like uncomfortable. You've got no context for that at all. So yeah, I don't know what I can say. I absolutely loved this. I am going to end this reading vlog here, even though I know I'm not technically done with the series because there is that prequel book. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I've seen that on Goodreads. I'm also aware of novellas I have not picked up, but I don't own any of these right now, and I've been working on this video since like August, September, and it's now the end of January. It is the 29th of January today, so I really think I should just leave this here, and then when I hopefully do, because I do intend on finishing the series totally by checking out the prequel and also the novellas, I'll just document that separately. I think that's only fair. And I've just enjoyed this whole journey so much. I think this is the first high fantasy series I've actually started and completed, which is a miracle. The last year or two I've been saying how I wanted to pick up more fantasy, and so I really feel like this series has helped me tick that box. and help me get into it more, because it's not something I pick up half as often as anything else. So this leads the way for me to start working on another series. I've got a few potential options in mind. So yeah, watch out for more fantasy series coming soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.